welcome back to Alpha Tauri. We're in the UK today for Silverstone and it's a sprint weekend, so I'll get the pre-race stuff rattled through quite quickly. I did want to briefly discuss the reserve driver situation for Alpha Tauri. I figured this is a good point to do it. We're 11 weeks in, 11 races in. Liam Lawson's contract runs out at the end of this season, and as much as I like the lad, Zay Maloney's contract also runs out at the end of the season in F2, and he's 77 rated. He's the highest rated driver in F2. I don't know if he's actually winning it, I'll check that in a moment. But these are all the drivers that have contracts running out at the end of the year, by the way. Fernando's does, as does Esteban Ocon's, which is interesting. But none of the other kind of old guard drivers, shall we call them, are running out of contract. Daniel Ricciardo's contract was, I think, a 4-year contract because he's got 3 years left on it. Bottas isn't running out, Perez isn't running out, Hamilton isn't running out, he must have renewed. No, a gentleman of 71 overall rating is winning the F2 championship right now. Maloney is only 5th. Credit to Novak, I guess. Also, our sporting director is running out of contract, but I'm just going to wait as long as possible to renew his contract, that's all. He is technically the best sporting director I can get, I think. Because if I remember rightly, Perone, whilst overall isn't the highest, does have, I think, the highest combined, or one of the highest combined, aptitude and, I forget what the other thing's called, processes, which are the two things you need to focus on. Aptitude is the cap in which your pit crew stop at, and processes is how quickly they recover fatigue, or undo fatigue, I should say. They're the two things that actually matter the most. But that's it, I did just want to discuss that particular situation because I figured someone will probably ask about it quite soon. Alexander Albon's contract lasts 1 year longer, so my intention at this point in time is to sign Maloney at the end of this year. I'll do it in December so Lawson has a chance to get a seat. And then I'll probably replace Albon with Maloney at the end of next season. Because Albon is 84 rated and probably not going to get too much better than that. Which is a bit sad, really. But anyway, sprint weekend. I'll see you for qualifying very shortly. Right then, qualifying time. It's a perfectly dry weekend in the UK for once. Really hot track as well, actually, when you think about it. It's actually warmer in real life somehow than it is in the middle of July in the game, but June, I guess it is. I'm actually concerned over the course of this full weekend, with the sprint included, that Alexander Albon's ERS will go into danger territory, because I think it's actually 45% is the threshold for ERS, and this is at 48. He's likely going to have to take penalties next race. Yuki must have been held up. I don't know what's going on there. Everyone's done a time and Albon's looking increasingly good. However, Perez, Sainz, Hamilton and Alonso are all behind him, so we'll call it net 10th. We might get some people completing a flying lap before we even go out. If I let De Vries just cross the line here, he'll have completed his lap and he has gone slower. So that's one less person to worry about. I'm feeling relatively safe with Alex in 6th, but I'm going to risk it. Joe didn't improve. So that's 2 people guaranteed to be behind. Also, how far out of the pit lane do you have to be before you actually can gain control on your car? It's quite warm out there. I'm tempted to not take over just yet and now go. Just sort of give it a couple of corners. Well, that's Perez coming out now. I mean, it's a 130 lap to begin with. 125. You might just do it. All it takes, though, is Perez, Sainz, Hamilton, Alonso to have an issue on their lap, and they could be in danger. They'll be in more danger than Alex is anyway. I will push Yuki, who crosses the line with plenty of time to spare and a cleanish run ahead of him. Magnussen and Bottas are being registered as being on in-lap, so I think Alex is fine. And Yuki started digging up his temperature in time, even waiting a little bit. Didn't wait too long, in fairness. It's quite a discrepancy when you think about it. Perez has 15 seconds to get from there to the checkered flag, and he's in 11th. Yuki's gone down to 16th. Someone has gone faster there, as Yuki gets past. Okay, so Hulk's out. That's Hamilton doing a representative time, and Alonso doing a representative time. So let's put Yuki into 18th temporarily. Gasly's done. Perez didn't make it. So Alex is safe then. There's 5 people guaranteed behind him. And I think Bottas has actually done his time as well. Piastri stays 16th. Tsunoda only 16. What is going on with Yuki? I don't understand that. Because that is 3/10 slower than effectively the nearest genuine competitor, which is the Haas. Or even 2/10 off Gasly, who's done a weirdly bad time as well. Ricciardo's not last though. Sainz was safe anyway, but he's popped himself up to 5th now. There's such a huge discrepancy between the 2 vehicles as well. On fresh tyres for Tsunoda, a second time out again, of course. I don't understand that. His car parts are better than Alex's as well, engine-wise. That's so weird. I mean, he's got a sprint to make up for it, like he did last time, weirdly. I don't really expect Alex to get out of Q2 either, but I put in the incentive, I don't know why. Nice little pocket of track, I think, to push into here. I'm hoping he doesn't catch the LP. I think he's going to have to deal with Max Verstappen, who will be on an in-lap when Alex will be pushing, but other than that, also this Aston Martin, who he's not letting by for some reason. They're both ahead of him. It doesn't matter. Oh, he has caught the Alpine. I need you to get past the Alpine now. Good lad. Start your flying lap, Alex. Apologies to the Aston Martin driver. But through the first few corners, by the way, I said I don't expect him to get Q3. He's currently 8th. And I think the Hasses may have done lap times, because I'm pretty certain they were at 11th and 12th. Perez had a spin on his original flying lap, by the way. That's why he's 43 seconds down. Hulkenberg, I think, had done the time. Max has just crossed the line and gone 8th. So I think Hulk's done in 11th, because I'm pretty certain the two Hasses and the two Alpines both had like +2 seconds on their times originally, because they got caught in the yellow flag from Perez. Now, Ocon's had an issue and crossed the line, or not got across the line in time. I don't think he's even on track. So that's 2 people guaranteed out behind, because Norris is checking, or 3, because Hulk's definitely finished as well. How's Alex doing as he goes into the last few corners? Better and worse. How much is the better though? Oh, 10th, just. And Magnussen has done his time, because we saw that. You saw him shoot up, so he's just nipped into 10th. Zhou Guanyu in 6th. I mean, considering De Vries was out in Q1 as well, that's crazy. But we're in the same boat with Yuki for some reason. And I don't quite understand it. Perez, after spinning on his original flying lap, goes Q2 pole. Statement made, I guess. Ugh, so many people to get through on the original flying lap. At the very least, we've unlocked the Q3 tyre. I'm almost tempted to go now. Slightly concerned he's going to power past this Ferrari, and then the Ferrari's going to be a problem on the actual flying lap. Stay behind him, Alex. Stay behind him. Use him as a tow, Alex. Use him as a tow. Okay, the Ferrari started going for it, so we're staying behind this Ferrari, which is great news. Slightly less good news if he gets stuck on someone else, like this. That is ridiculous blocking from the Red Bull there. Perez, on an in-lap. He's only gone 4th. He's blocked the Ferrari and in the process blocked us. We're clear now, though, I think, because everyone else is on a flyer, but that's the lap ruined anyway. Verstappen didn't even make the checker flag. He starts 7th in the sprint. Go on, Ferrari, give us a tow, however distant it may be. That is the difference between the Ferrari and our car, by the way. Bye! I don't know which one you are out of the two, but kind of just vanished. Hopefully that was enough of a stream for us to sort of capitalise on the straights at least. It might help counterbalance. I mean, he got held up on about 4 different people on the original flying lap, so he might gain some time regardless. Just, yeah, 2/10. But it is still an unbelievably blocked time. Thankfully, because the Red Bulls didn't go any faster anyway, the Ferraris have gotten away with it. But although Stroll could be a problem. Don't be surprised to see Russell do something here, because he's actually a little bit off Hamilton. Literally nobody changed position, I don't think, on the second runs there. I mean, it is possibly worth pointing out that Yuki Tsunoda's 1:26.9 is faster than Lando, Hulk, Pierre, and Ocon's times in Q2. Great. And obviously faster than Albon's time in Q3, but there was other reasons for that. There's reasons for Ocon, but Pierre Gasly had a clean lap, as did Norris and Hulkenberg, so no excuses there. Anyway, we've got another practice session to get out of the way before the sprint. See you there. A soft tyre makes it for the sprint, but it'll be sketchy towards the end. 27 seconds. I was about to ask why does Alex start 9th, but he doesn't, of course. That's the penalty for someone ahead of him. Charles Leclerc, I think. Something's gone spectacularly wrong there.
Silverstone is ready. The sprint is about to get underway. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Once again, we're seeing a hard runner, and it is Charles Leclerc in 2nd who's opted for that stupid strategy. Along with Russell in 7th, Norris in 13th, Gasly has done the same. In fact, it's all soft or hard. There's 2 people at the back on mediums, and, well, that's going to be fascinating. Yellow flag for Stroll. I saw a plume of smoke and dust in the distance, but I couldn't work out what had happened, because we were focusing, that's what the dust was. Wow, that's a hell of a spin. That's actually a really cool spin, if I'm honest. So Lance Stroll making an error in a sprint again. 72%. He's not going to make the end on those softs. So that's 1 free place, which is confusing because Albon's still 10. Magnussen has overtaken him. And there's another yellow flag. There's an Alpine going, I wonder, at front of shot. Yep, there we go. Folds in ahead of the Saubers. Didn't really hurt his tyres either, unlike poor Lance. But Leclerc got back ahead, because I think it was Stroll that got him, and now he's on hard tyres. He's just going to be at the back of everyone. I believe DRS activates immediately, by the way. There we go. There's the proof. So Tsunoda, directly behind 2 hard-running vehicles, is going to be pressuring them over the next couple of laps. There's a very solid 10th place chance here, or 12th place chance for Yuki. And then we've got to deal with the Hasses and Zhou Guanyu. If all goes well, we can possibly start 8th with Alex. Everyone else will continue to push for this lap as well, so we can't really afford not to, but that's Yuki past Gasly. Alex contending with Kevin. Of course, there's no overtake replays in the sprint. Alex contending with Kevin, and when they filtered in behind each other, for some reason, I didn't even register Alex was ahead. So Alex in 9th behind Zhou Guanyu, who is a 2nd behind Hamilton. So Alex is a coming. DRS assisted, gets his nose in on the outside, which will become the inside if he doesn't give up. He gave up. Alonso's through Leclerc. The good news is that Zhou remains without any DRS. As Soda said overtake failed, that's because he's still in the process of overtaking Lando Norris on his hard tyres. And now he's got a power towards Hulkenberg. Check when you cut the gap to Hamilton. Don't know how, but he did. But the good news is Sonoda is now in DRS range, and now isn't. Max Verstappen just evaporates from the front. What happened to him there? Is it the same place Lance had a wobbly? Nope. A lot earlier on in the lap. And Parks, which, you know, any sane racing driver would do. Why is Alex's tyres so bad? For some reason the tyre temperatures weren't coming down, and I don't really know why. There's a crash now. Oh dear, I can see the problem. And at Silverstone, this is the worst possible scenario. Russell on hards, by the way, hasn't yielded to Hamilton at any point. And there's the result. I mean, it's synchronised. Wow. Avoiding serious damage there. 8th and 9th is now, I mean, Zhou Guanyu is still in 5th. And Stroll comes into the pits. Ricardo's had a spin as well for good measure. I've just heard another thump. Absolute carnage. Lando's getting Yuki back annoyingly, but I mean, I heard a thump. That really wasn't a thump. In a weird way, I'm glad there's incidents in the sprint because this is the only highlights we get. Another yellow flag. Sainz has a penalty. Flipping heck. What on earth is going on in this race? Oh. I'm not sure that's Carlos Sainz's fault. That looked like Paris just went flying up his inside. It was a terrible angle to kind of work it out from, but Alonso's leading. Just want to throw that out there. Depending on what the penalty is to Sainz, because he won't pit now. But to be fair, Alex is actually doing better on his tyres than most people, even though he is well under target. Although Sainz does pit. Penultimate lap, we've probably got just enough in the tyres to go for too aggressively. Gasly came through. I mean, what a ridiculous grid it's going to be for tomorrow, though. Ricciardo's still last. Sainz 19th, Russell 18th, Stroll 16th, Hamilton 14th, Verstappen 13th, Zhou Guanyu 4th. The Haas line up 5th and 6th with good points there as well, of course. Albon holding on to a point for the time being. Like I say, other people's tyres are just going to be marginally worse than ours, I'd have thought by now. Leclerc on the hards actually is inadvertently played a blinder there. Mediums would have been obviously much better for him, but he's got back ahead of Alonso and is pulling away on now kind of, you know, still 60% hards. Gasly's up to 6th as he's fighting Magnussen. I mean, if we can get another point off Magnussen, that'd be superb, as we actually dip under 30%. Leclerc wins from Alonso from Perez. Tsunoda's just claiming Magnussen now. Magnussen just running out of tyres a smidgen earlier than Yuki and Alex has actually dumped him out of the points in the sprint there. 21 thousandths the difference between Tsunoda and Magnussen. Yuki started 16th, don't forget. Obviously, there's an array of bizarre incidents, but Albon's technically gone backwards because he started ahead of Hulkenberg and Gasly. But that was just tyre management after his own little wobbly. Of course, I've just realised something. Zhou Guanyu 4th, Hulkenberg 5th. Ridiculous grid order. I don't know if we get to see the overall constructors at the end and drivers and constructors after this, but Zhou Guanyu and Hulkenberg were 2 of the 3 pointless drivers. So now they're not. Which only leaves poor Daddy Rick as the only one. A one-stop is apparently faster. I mean, we'll see about that, won't we? Soft, medium, medium on a slightly bigger push seems to be the play. So we'll do that. This is where having those extra mediums works out. We start 6th and 7th. Oh yes, because it was Charles Leclerc with the pre-existing penalty, wasn't it? I mean, they're focusing on Pierre Gasly here. Zhou Guanyu's 3rd.
Anticipation is high, and the drivers are ready for this. The British Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
A lot of people starting on mediums. They might be doing medium hard, though, that one-stop strategy. Gasly's on a soft as well. Oh, dear. I mean, sensational start. Oh. Well, then. The annoying thing is now I need to watch the entire race. It's rear ring damage on Alex, I think, but Yuki's car seems fine. It's just stopped. Yuki will have a penalty next race, but I now have to watch this entire thing on 16 times. I mean, what a great race that was to get some really good points. I now have to watch this entire thing, of course. I mean, I was tempted to retire the cars anyway, but I guess it saves their engines a bit, depending on if they've damaged them. There was aerodynamic part damage, but Zhou Guanyu immediately obviously peels off as a red flag now. Oh god, it's not a carnage. That is Zhou Guanyu in 3rd.
That's not how to do anything.
So no one's actually hurting that. It's just a red flag because the Haas is stuck in the middle of the track, which it wouldn't be. It would just get going again. Why am I still involved? Still the same order. I can't really see much change. I can still see Sainz in the back, that is. Leclerc's in 9th, Verstappen 11th, Russell 13th, Hamilton 16th. Let's see if it actually sort of sorts itself out by then. Zhou Guanyu takes Perez off the line. And in fact, actually, Hulkenberg's taking Perez as well. I'm going to focus on this because it's still a little fun. But Zhou Guanyu is taking Perez as Perez is fending off Hulkenberg, though. Yellow flag. Have Hulkenberg and Perez made contact? I think they have. They have. I'll just get my thoughts on what happened essentially now as we watch this simulate itself now in real time. Well, 16 times real time, I guess. But realistically, there's nothing I'd have done different on that start because whilst we did line up next to each other, you're not going to say don't fight off the line because it can cause other problems and weird, janky kind of avoiding action, which could then put your car in the path of someone else. Well, Hulk's down to 9th and he hasn't even had his pit stop yet. Verstappen's up to 4th, Leclerc's up to 3rd already. It's only lap 18, they've not even done the first pit stops yet. Stroll's last on hards. VSC, as Sainz is now fully out, I suspect. Great time for everyone to come into the pits, particularly those on softs. Who's it with, though? A Merc? Lewis Hamilton causing all sorts of carnage. Not yielding at Cops, is that? I'm saying nothing about that. Lewis Hamilton putting somebody into the wall at Cops. Literally everyone pitted. So, kind of neutralised itself. Shogo new 8th, Hulkenberg 11th. Where's Daniel Rick? 16th still. Oh, God. Go on, Danny. If there's ever a race that you could capitalise on, it's this one. Absolute madness. Another yellow flag. Leclerc running wide now. Daniel Rick's up to 14th. George Russell now. Wow, both Mercs in all sorts of mayhem. Lando's the only British driver to get out of this unscathed, isn't he? He was just on hards in the sprint. That was his only problem. He wasn't involved in any of the incidents, I don't think. He's now 4th, though. Go on, Danny. I mean, I'd like to say we're going to be on Danny Cam for the rest of this race, but no. We'll have him highlighted. He's up to 13th. Gasly spitted. Max is locked up. Go on, Daniel. Get a point. I need him to be 10th. I don't care about anyone else. I just want him to be 10th. This is going to be really good points for McLaren, though, who seem to be on a bit more of a charge. Alonso is penalised. Sorry, I need to have a look at this. It's the front runners. Oh, no, it's Max, actually, who slipped through that. I mean, that's a penalty, is it? Flipping that game. Saw that one out. That is not a penalty. No one was hurt. No one lost any time. It's just coming together, racing incident. What is going on at Silverstone? This is ridiculous. That is Shoguan and Piastri? Oh, losing out to an Alpine there. I don't know which one that was. Probably Ocon if it's that far down. Gasly's... Oh, no, Gasly's, yeah, way at the back, isn't he? He's last for some reason. So I didn't want to be part of this race anyway. I don't know what's going on with Gasly. He's done his second pit stop, I think, and he's now just going to the end on those hards. But I'm just going to guess people are going to pit into him eventually. Yeah, there we are. He's past Russell now. I mean, Daniel Rick's 11th right now, but he's pitting. Oh, he's gone on to softs, Daniel. Come on, people. Crash ahead of you. Go on, Danny. Make up 5 places somehow. Those medium runners are questionable right now. There goes Bottas. Magnussen in 12th is questionable. Verstappen and Perez are on hards. Is there a fight there? 5 laps to go, 7 seconds behind. Leclerc? Not looking likely. Oh, Bottas has got Danny. Come on, Danny. As this enters the dying stages, Hamilton's got away with this instance, by the way. He's back up to 6th. But Hamilton is down to 89 rated. I think he starts in the 90s, does Hamilton. But Alonso's still 90 and Hamilton's down to 89 overall. As Verstappen wins from Leclerc, Perez did fall off. Was that tyres? It might have been tyres. But Verstappen, Leclerc, Perez, Alonso, Norris, Hamilton, Zhou Guanyu, Piastri, Ocon, Stroll. I mean, McLaren's been that high up and Zhou Guanyu still ended up with more points in 7th. So there's still some usurpers in there, but annoyingly still sorted itself out mostly fine. Kind of with the Perez started 2nd and finished 3rd in a race that Verstappen started 13th and Leclerc started last in, I think. His penalty certainly took him down the grid anyway, out of the top 10. Oh, it's nicely finished. Ocon 10th, Stroll 9th.
Things just didn't go well for Yuki Tsunoda today.
You think? Lewis Hamilton putting his car into the points in a race in which he eliminates someone at Cops and gets away with it. Max Verstappen wins, Charles Leclerc 2nd, both over ridiculous places. Sergio loses places somehow. Fernando down as well, but he had the penalty for apparently really severely hampering Max Verstappen. Lando, Piastri, Zhou Guanyu, Stroll, Ocon round out the points. Good points for Zhou Guanyu, good points for Piastri. I'll say that. I'm happy for both of them. Sad that Hulkenberg finished outside the points, considering. Also, I don't know what happened with Pierre, but I'm not complaining because Alpine technically are our rivals. And they only get 1 point total, plus the 3 from Pierre in the sprint. But we have 3 points combined from the sprint, so it kind of works itself out in that way. Max Verstappen regains the lead, although did I not realise he regained the lead last race? Probably, because there's no up and down there. Fernando above Carlos, Hamilton, Stroll in 8th, Yuki, Alex remain 9 and 10, but Lando's are coming. 10 more points for him, Pierre. Zhou Guanyu goes straight to 14th. With 9 points over the course of the weekend. Oscar Piastri with 6 points over the course of the weekend, actually just on Sunday. And Hulkenberg with 4 points on the Saturday in the sprint. Only Daniel Ricciardo, as mentioned, no points. He's actually gone back up to 80 rated somehow. You think he started the year 79. But Oscar Piastri, by the way, 81 rated now. Don't know what that does for us overall. Only 3 points, obviously, as a team in 5th. McLaren actually are the nearest rivals. That's what I was suspecting with the good points haul there. Up to 6th, having been last literally about 3 races ago. They've suddenly just got 32 points in 3 races. Good lord. Aston Martin and Mercedes are now fighting each other. Laughable that we ever thought we were in that contest. But Haas with 4 points joins Alfa Romeo on 8 again. So that's the thing. Nice little scrap at the back. Obviously, we don't even do a pit stop. So, whoa, equal on points now. Well, that's unfortunate. Right then. Missing pieces, of course. We've got no more chassis of Design 2, but we do have chassis 3 being built now. So, and the Hungarian Grand Prix is in 11 days. So I have to presume... Oh no, we're not actually building the chassis now. Great. Because the side pods finished developing in 2 days' time, and that's what they were going to be dealing with. Am I just going to have to put on the original chassis? Because I genuinely don't think there's enough time. Just in case you're confused, just as I was there for a moment, 3 out of 4 means we have built 3 out of 4. They're not currently building number 3 or 4. So they are the last underfloor and side pods that are being manufactured. 2 more suspensions yet to be built. We will have another one for the next race, at least, in time, which is something else I need to replace. So the good news is in 2 days' time, we can start building chassis, which means somebody will have a new chassis, at least. There's our overall... Hey! Alex actually gets a smooth this point, and Yuki does get another control point, and actually overtaking and defending, which is nice. That's one of his sub-90s, sub-80s, above 80 again. So we're only 3rd in that? Yeah. I mean, obviously, a bit awkward that's coming now when there's missing parts, because that does affect things. Crucially, though, powertrain, gearbox was hurt. I'm not sure the engine was on Yuki's car. And then on Alex's, gearbox was hurt. The ERS wasn't, but they're both on 45, basically. And the engine was fine as well. So actually, they only just clogged the gearbox, which is the cheapest part anyway. So not too fussed on that one. Gearbox is the cheapest part to begin with, and it's the one kind of that's the most durable out of the 3 that we have with the Red Bull engine. So it's the one we could probably buy a new one for and get to the end of the season with. Alex might need another one anyway because he broke one earlier in the season. So he's down 2 effectively for the season. So he might need another one anyway because obviously we'll use this 94 one in the races and the 49 one in the practices for the time being. But they've both got a little bit of space in them. But because we're going to need an ERS, I might take Alex's penalties next time round, actually. Just straight up take them next in Hungary and just be done with it. Because ideally, you want to be avoiding sprint weekends. Because Spa is one. If we take penalties for Alex in Hungary, and then maybe penalties for Yuki in Monza, if he can get that far. At the very least, he's got 2 practice gearboxes. That might be all right. And his ERS could hold on a little bit longer. Ideally, if we can get Yuki to Monza before taking penalties on him, that'd be great. But hopefully he's only going to need 1, because that was his first incident. And it only hurt his gearbox, which, like I say, is the least concerning part of all. So... Oh, we actually get the new regulations in a week as well. In fact, let's do something we don't normally do and click through now. Okay, so the sporting change regulation in the middle of the season is change to the fastest lap. This can be the one that can affect the points system, which is the one I always like try to make sure it never changes. So fastest lap point. I'll vote for it. If it goes, it goes. But no, hang on. So I'm going to vote against the proposal because I want to keep it. It's just a nice little thing to have, isn't it? I've also taken the team hub to level 5 now, by the way. It had just gone under, actually, in terms of its overall capabilities. It needed a refurbing just as it developed into level 5. So, or level 4, sorry. So that, I believe, is the staff side of things. The race simulator is the one that's going to level 5 and may have just tipped under at the end. So, okay, so that's fine. So there's no stresses about the sporting regulation change because that can, like I say, that could be the concerning one because it can change the point structure. But we got through it fine and we seem to actually be okay for Hungary. So I will see you for that tomorrow. If you enjoyed this episode, despite how abruptly that race ended. First time for everything though. Genuinely the first time that's happened. Our drivers have taken each other out before, but not in this save, I don't think. It happened to Aston Martin once, I believe, but that is it. Actually, no, I don't think they took each other out, but I think they both crashed out. That's the only other time we've actually ever had a double DNF. I think it was calendar year 1, Aston Martin. But if you enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal by now. Until next time, thank you for joining me. Ta-ra.